First of all, I'd like to congratulate women's basketball, Coach Broadhead, cutting the nets down. It's awesome. They've had a tremendous regular season. Wish them the best going into the tournament. Recapping our conference season and year overall, lost a few games early to the NCAA, moving our start date back, and had to readjust our schedule a little bit. Did a good job with that, and we're able to play some home games, and wound up opening up with Baylor in Vegas, as we know, for a tough first round game. We played good in that game at times, and I scored the ball against them, the most points scored against them in a year and a half, and but couldn't stop them. They were just too good offensively. And then we came back home and played New Orleans over at New Orleans, and then had some games at home, and had a really good December. I think it was our first undefeated December in a long time, and picked up a quality win over Louisiana Tech, and came back and got into conference, losing Dugay to COVID protocol, and played at home for the first couple of conference series, and beat Texas State in overtime. And then the next week we lost to Little Rock in overtime. So I had 2 overtime games, trying to get used to the Friday, Saturday schedule in the first weekend, 2 weekends of play, and then proceeded on and got on a little bit of a roll after being 2-3. We won 5 straight. And at the same time, we went to Jonesboro and lost our point guard, Brian Ayu, had to step away and with a knee injury. And that hurt us a little bit up there. We couldn't stop them shooting the ball. That was the main issue defensively, and gave up too many 3-point shots. And then we came back home and lost 3 in a row. And then we righted the ship, shot the ball well, won 3 in a row, and clinched a 2nd seed in our conference tournament, which was one of our goals all year. And we'll be able to be one of the top 2 seeds and get the first round bye in Pensacola, which is very important. And so we're excited to get ready for practice this week and see what we can do moving into the conference tournament. I think the field's wide open. There are several teams that have an opportunity to win this tournament. I do think the top 4 seeds are the best 4 teams in the conference, and we'll see if that proves right.
Coach, you have a chance to play as many as 3 games against teams that you haven't played against before in a conference tournament. I don't know if that's ever happened anywhere. What kind of challenges does that create?
Well, our side played more games, first of all, than the other side. And I think Little Rock and Monroe played 18 games, and we played 17. And that's a credit to our medical staff, our trainer, our doctors, team doctors have been outstanding. And the program and protocol our administration's put in place. So we lose 1 game and it's to an ice storm. But we're fortunate to play more games than a lot of teams. But yet we've watched those teams, Dan, on video. We've watched a lot of their games. We've been scouting them all year, and we'll be prepared for Monroe or South Alabama. But that is a strange and unique issue when you haven't played one of the other teams on the other side. Again, getting the bye is important because now we'll get a chance to live scout and watch the Monroe South Alabama game in person.
Coach, congratulations on getting the number 2 seed. You've been the number 1 seed before, though, as well. So how much is this tournament just a factor of momentum and just playing your right brand of basketball, not necessarily who you're playing?
Well, it's about playing basketball well, no doubt about it. We've got to make shots. The team that plays well together, plays good defensively, makes shots, catches a break, maybe wins a game where they don't play at their best, can win this tournament for sure. And we went in as a 3 seed a few years back and won the tournament. So we shot it good the first night, and the second night we broke open a close game in the second half to win, and then came from behind in the second half, the championship game to win. So it's wide open at this point.
So how do you feel about going back to the junior college? Well, I mean, I know it's a new venue, or the city's a new venue for you, but for you personally at the JUCO, does that mean anything at this, or is just the focus on the conference tournament?
Well, it's nice to be able to go to a place you're familiar with. I won't need a map to get to either one of those buildings. I can promise you that. We had a lot of success at the Ross Center, Hartselle Arena, that has been named. That was my president when I was there, and won a lot of basketball games there. So it'll be a little bit different playing there. But again, we're looking forward to playing in the conference tournament and having a day off before we do play.
Coach, what was it called when you were there? The arena?
It was the Ross Center, named after Louis Ross.
Well, what did you see in Kobe's limited minutes, and did he play even more than you thought? I mean, what was what did you take away from his weekend?
It was good to have him back. We talked about missing Brayan, but we got him back, so that was a big plus. He was on a minute restriction. He did do a good job. I felt like in both games, the first game, he came in and hit a big three-point shot, hit a big two-point pull-up, both in the second half, got a couple of rebounds and helped us win that basketball game. The second night, he did the same. He scored a couple of buckets, got some rebounds, took a charge, and definitely got his feet wet and got his confidence going a little bit. You know, it's one thing to have not played in a conference game for 3 years and then to step out there and have a little bit of success and get knocked down and stand back up and go at it again is very important.
How much, if at all, do you see your rotations changing? Obviously, you're not playing the Friday, Saturday, but you're still playing back-to-back. So do you see, in terms of, will you still have the same rotations, obviously, because you still have to think about the next day, but obviously you got to win the game in front of you too?
Yeah, our rotations are important, and Kobe gets into the mix now. Jacoby Gordon has a sprained ankle. We held him out this weekend just to let him get stronger, and hopefully he'll be good to go for Saturday. But rotation is important, and we'll try to win each game, but we'll go in with a similar rotation than what we've had.
You typically would have maybe a little smaller rotation in the postseason. So numbers wise, are you comfortable with where you are, what your options are to win this thing? Yes,
I mean we'd like to again have Brayan back, but we're comfortable with what we have going in. We've won 3 games in a row and locked up the number 2 seed in Little Rock. We didn't shoot the ball well. It was reversal the second game up there from the first night, where we didn't shoot it well in the first half, and Saturday we didn't shoot it well in the second half. So we tried hard, but we didn't make shots, and that'll be important for us as we move forward. But we feel like we've got the pieces to get it done, and the depth that we need to play as well.
Coach, are you no coach knows if his team's going to shoot well. So it's just whether you knock down shots the key, or is it the consistency on defense? Like what's your biggest concern or worry or kind of unknown going into this tournament?
Well, shot making is a big part of it, as we all know. And I saw some highlights last night on ESPN that Villanova shot 2 for 15 yesterday, or 2 for 27. I'm sorry. 2 for 27 from 3, Villanova. And, you know, if that happens in a conference tournament or NCAA tournament, you're out. So you got to make shots. I think it's a momentum thing, Kevin. If you play good defensively, it certainly helps you with your momentum on offense. And when you make a couple of 3-point shots, or you make a lot of free throws to begin the game, it usually carries over and gives the guys confidence. But we've been a good 3-point shooting team. We finished second in the league in 3-point shooting behind Texas State. And hopefully we'll make them this weekend. We feel confident that we will.
You've said it many times, it's a guards game. Is your experience that it's even more of a guards game in a conference tournament, or what do you think?
Yes, guards control the ball, and I do agree with that statement for sure. And if you look back at our group, we played Monroe a couple of weeks ago. Our guards played outstanding. You know, we got 20 points from Malik and and Ty Harper had 19. Those two guys played outstanding. We had 7 guys that made a 3-point shot in that game, and Devin Butts wasn't one of them. And then the last couple of games, we've had 2 and 3 guys make 3-point shots, or 4. So we've got to spread it around a little bit. But it is a guards game, and our guards will need to play well. Malik did not play well in Little Rock, nor did Ty, and they'll have to come out and play better in this tournament if we're going to cut down the nets on Monday night.
One of the websites, ESPN, coach, they had 4 guys doing projections for every conference tournament, and they had 4 different projected winners for Sun Belt. Are you on board that it's really anybody's tournament?
Yeah, I haven't seen any of that, but I can appreciate it. I think, again, the top 4 seeds I feel like are the best 4 teams, but South Alabama had an opportunity to win the league if they win one home game on the last weekend, and they get swept by Georgia State. The East hasn't played as many games. Some of those teams are fresh. App State's got a good team. I believe they finished 4th on the other side as well. So a lot of teams can win this. Little Rock was picked 1st overall. They've had some attrition, but they've got a good basketball team too. So I'm looking forward to watching Monroe and South Alabama on Friday night. I think that'll be a really good basketball game, and I can see where the predictions are across the board.
What about Georgia State, Coach? Like, what are they doing? Is it the same kind of thing than we saw last year, or is it a little different?
No, it's the same type play. They've got good inside players. They've got good guards. I think they've had 3 different players of the week in the league. They've been shut down several times and had to pause activities, so they played fewer games. They only played 12 conference games, I believe, and they've got fresh legs. I know that, but they've got a good group, as a lot of the other teams do too.